I walked 10,000 steps every single day for 90 days. No gym, no diet pills, no crazy meal plan. And what happened to my body after those 90 days, the actual numbers, completely changed how I think about fitness forever. Let me be straight with you right from the start. I am not a personal trainer. I'm not a nutritionist with a PhD hanging on my wall. I am a regular American guy sitting at a desk for 9 hours a day, carrying an extra 27 pounds I did not ask for, with a doctor who looked me dead in the eyes last January and said, and I am quoting him directly, "Your blood pressure is 148/92. That is a serious problem." That moment hit me hard. I walked out of that office, sat in my car for about 10 minutes, and I thought, what is the simplest possible thing I can do right now? No expensive gym membership, no meal prep containers lined up on the counter, just one thing, one daily action. So I pulled out my phone, opened Google, and typed, "easiest exercise for weight loss." And every single article kept pointing back to one thing, walking. Specifically, 10,000 steps a day. Now I had heard that number 1,000 times. It is plastered on every smartwatch ad and fitness app since 2015. But I had never actually committed to it. Like actually committed. So starting February 1st, 2025, I wore my Garmin every single day and I did not go to bed until that step count hit 10,000. No excuses. No days off. 90 straight days. And today I'm going to show you every single thing that changed. The good, the honestly surprising, and the one thing that nobody on the internet warns you about. Week 1. I want to be honest here because most YouTube fitness videos skip this part. Week 1 was uncomfortable. Not painful. Just uncomfortable in the way that reminds your body that you have been ignoring it for 2 years. I was averaging about 3,200 steps a day before I started this. I know because I checked my health app history. So jumping to 10,000 steps was basically tripling my daily movement overnight. My calves were tight by day 3. My right knee complained a little on day 5. I bought a pair of New Balance 990 V6 running shoes on day 4 because my old sneakers were apparently designed for standing in a grocery store line, not actually walking 5 miles a day. Here is what 10,000 steps actually looks like in real life in America. For me, it was roughly 4.8 miles. It took between 85 and 95 minutes of total walking broken into chunks throughout my day. I did not do it all at once. I walked 20 minutes in the morning before work, took 3 10-minute walks during the day, bathroom break walks, let us be real, and then did a 35-minute evening walk after dinner. By day 7, the tightness was almost gone. And something weird started happening. I started sleeping better. Not dramatically, just I stopped staring at the ceiling for 45 minutes before my brain would shut off. I went from maybe 5 hours and 40 minutes of actual sleep according to my Garmin to 6 hours and 20 minutes by the end of week 1. That is 40 extra minutes of real sleep every single night from just walking. Weight after week 1, down 1.4 pounds. Now I want to set expectations here. A big chunk of that is water weight. Do not get excited yet. Keep watching. Before I get into the 30-day and 60-day results, I want to give you the science in plain English, because I think understanding what is happening inside your body makes you way more likely to stick with this. When you walk at a moderate pace, around 3 to 3.5 miles per hour, you are burning somewhere between 300 and 400 calories per hour, depending on your body weight. At my starting weight of 214 pounds, my Garmin estimated about 380 calories burned for a full 10,000 step day. That is not massive, but here is the thing most people miss completely. Walking is what exercise scientists call a low-intensity steady-state activity. And there is a very specific reason that matters for fat loss. At low to moderate intensity, your body preferentially burns fat as fuel rather than glycogen, which is the sugar stored in your muscles. So while running burns more calories per minute, walking burns a higher percentage of those calories directly from fat. A 2020 study published in the Journal of Exercise Nutrition and Biochemistry confirmed that walking at a moderate pace for 60 minutes consistently showed greater fat oxidation than short bursts of high-intensity exercise in sedentary adults. But here is the part that genuinely surprised me when I dug into this. It is not just about the calories you burn while walking. It is about something called NEAT, non-exercise activity thermogenesis. When you increase your daily movement, your body actually starts moving more in small ways all day long. You fidget more, you shift weight, you stand differently. Researchers at the Mayo Clinic found that increasing daily steps can raise your total daily energy expenditure by 15 to 20% beyond just the walk itself. That is free calorie burning just from being a more active person overall. And then there is the cortisol effect. Cortisol is your stress hormone and one of the most underrated causes of belly fat in American adults over 35. A 2023 meta-analysis in the journal Frontiers in Physiology found that consistent moderate-intensity walking for 8 or more weeks significantly reduced salivary cortisol levels. Lower cortisol means less visceral fat storage around your midsection. Translation: walking literally fights belly fat at the hormonal level, not just the calorie level. Okay, day 30. Here are the actual numbers. Starting weight, 214.2 pounds. Day 30 weight, 208.6 pounds. That is 5.6 pounds down in 30 days. And before you say, that is just water weight, no, it is not all water weight. Water weight typically flushes out in the first 7 to 10 days. The remaining 4+ pounds lost by day 30 was real body fat, confirmed by my body composition scale, which measures body fat percentage. My body fat went from 27.4% to 26.1%. That is 1.3 percentage points of actual fat, not just scale weight. But here is what I was not expecting at all. My resting heart rate dropped. At the start of this challenge, my resting heart rate was 74 beats per minute. By day 30, it was 68 beats per minute, 6 beats per minute lower. That sounds small, but the American Heart Association published data showing that every 10-beat reduction in resting heart rate is associated with a 30% reduction in cardiovascular risk. I went halfway there in 30 days of just walking. My energy levels changed in a way I can only describe as structural. I stopped needing my 2:30 p.m. coffee. Completely. I had been drinking 2 cups of coffee a day since 2018, one at 7 a.m. and one at about 2:30 p.m. because I would hit a wall every single afternoon. That wall basically disappeared by week 3. I did not plan for that. I did not read about it anywhere. It just happened. What did not change by day 30? My waist measurement was only down half an inch. I was hoping for more. Belly fat is specifically stored as visceral fat, which is more stubborn and requires longer sustained effort to mobilize. This is where most people quit. They weigh less on the scale, they feel better, but they look in the mirror and think the belly is not going anywhere, so why bother? That is the wrong way to read the data. Your cardiovascular system, your hormones, and your metabolism are all responding positively before your mirror tells you anything. Keep going. Day 60. This is the part of the video I really want you to pay attention to because nobody talks about what happens between day 45 and day 60. It gets boring. Like genuinely, deeply boring. And that boredom is a test. I started this challenge walking the same 2 routes around my neighborhood. By day 45, I had listened to every podcast I cared about, re-listened to my entire Spotify library, and I started dreading the evening walk. Not because of physical pain, my body had totally adapted. But mentally, the novelty was gone. This is exactly where the data says most people quit fitness habits. It is not the first 2 weeks when you are sore. It is the 45 to 60-day zone when the new car smell has worn off and you are not yet seeing the dramatic results you fantasized about. Here is what I did that kept me going. I downloaded AllTrails and started driving 10 minutes to different parks and trails on weekends. I started doing my morning walk while doing a phone call I would normally have at my desk. I listened to a long audiobook. I went through 2.5 audiobooks during this challenge and made myself promise I could only listen to those audiobooks while walking. Pavlovian conditioning. My brain started associating the walk with the pleasure of the story. It actually worked. Day 60 numbers. Weight, 204.1 pounds, down 10.1 pounds from the start. Now I had officially crossed the 10-pound mark. That felt real, visible. My wife noticed without me saying anything. My coworkers asked if I was doing something different. My jeans from 3 years ago, a pair of Levi 511s I had shoved to the back of my closet, fit again. That is a different kind of data than the scale. That is your clothes telling you the truth. Blood pressure at day 60, 136/84. Remember, I started at 148/92. That is a 12-point drop in my systolic pressure and an 8-point drop in diastolic from just walking. My doctor had suggested we discuss medication at my next visit. We no longer discussed medication. Day 90. Here is every number laid out completely transparently. Weight started at 214.2 pounds, ended at 200.8 pounds. Total loss, 13.4 pounds in 90 days. Body fat percentage, from 27.4% down to 24.9%. That is a 2.5 percentage point reduction in body fat. In real terms, I lost approximately 14 pounds of pure fat mass while actually gaining a tiny amount of lean muscle mass, which is not typical for walking alone, but I suspect came from the evening walks on hilly terrain later in the challenge. Waist circumference down 2.1 inches. That is the belly I was waiting for. It took 70 days to really start moving. But it moved. Resting heart rate from 74 beats per minute down to 63 beats per minute. That is an 11-beat reduction, a direct marker of cardiovascular fitness improvement. Blood pressure from 148/92 down to 128/80. Completely out of the hypertension range. No medication required. Sleep, from an average of 5 hours 40 minutes of actual sleep to 7 hours 5 minutes. That is almost 90 minutes more real sleep every night. The downstream effects of that sleep improvement alone on my mood, my appetite, my focus at work are honestly worth the entire 90-day challenge, even without any of the physical changes. Total miles walked, 432 miles. I walked from my front door to somewhere around Albuquerque, New Mexico, in my neighborhood over 90 days. Cost, $0 beyond the shoes I already needed. No gym membership, no supplements, no app subscription, no equipment, just movement. Here is the exact blueprint I would follow if I were starting this today in 2026. First, track your current average steps for 3 days before you start. Do not change anything. Just look. Most sedentary American adults are walking between 2,500 and 4,500 steps a day. If that is you, do not jump straight to 10,000. Add 1,500 steps per week. Going from 3,000 to 10,000 overnight increases your injury risk and your chances of quitting. Gradual increase, 1,500 extra steps per week, gets you to 10,000 in about 30 days with almost zero injury risk. Second, get a reliable tracker. I use a Garmin, but an Apple Watch, a Fitbit, or even just a free step-counting app like Google Fit works perfectly. You need something that gives you a real-time count so you can make small decisions throughout the day. Park farther away, take the stairs, walk to the coffee shop instead of driving. That awareness alone changes behavior. Third, find your walking window. For me, it was morning plus evening. For you, it might be a lunch walk plus an after-dinner walk. It does not matter when you walk. It matters that you build a consistent trigger. Same time, same trigger, same shoes by the door. Fourth, combine the walk with something you already enjoy. An audiobook, a podcast, a phone call with a friend or your mom. Turn your daily walk into your guilt-free entertainment window. If you are someone who watches Netflix every night, try this. Watch 20 minutes on the couch, then walk for 35 minutes listening to your show on your phone, then come back and watch the last 20 minutes. You just turned 35 minutes of sedentary TV time into 35 minutes of fat-burning activity with zero sacrifice to your routine. And fifth, do not skip a day. I am serious about this one. The most dangerous day in any 90-day habit is day 14, day 31, and day 47. Those are the statistically highest dropout days based on habit research from Stanford's Behavior Design Lab. On those days especially, even if you are tired, even if it is raining, do a minimum viable walk. 10 minutes counts. 500 steps counts. The chain does not break. I started this challenge as a 38-year-old desk worker with high blood pressure and 27 pounds to lose. I finished it lighter, healthier, sleeping better, off the blood pressure watch list, and, genuinely, happier than I was when I started. Not because of some dramatic physical transformation, but because I proved to myself that I could show up for myself every single day for 90 days. That matters more than the 13 pounds. If this video helped you, hit the like button right now. It costs you nothing, and it tells the algorithm this content is worth showing to other people who need it. Subscribe if you want the 6-month update video where I tell you what happened after I added just 2 strength training sessions per week on top of the walking. The results are even more interesting. Drop your current daily step count in the comments. I want to know where you are starting from, and I will see you in the next one.